State wins.
Hey, Cardinals fans, welcome back to another edition of Heart of the Cardinal, our January edition. Special thank you to Ball State Sports Link and the Betsy M. Ross studio space here today. And we have a special guest, Izzy Tanjuatco from women's tennis, joining us here on Heart of the Cardinal. Izzy, thanks for joining us amidst the cold weather that's going on right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's not like anything I'm used to. I haven't ever seen this much snow, so definitely getting adjusted to having the layers on, taking them off in the hot building, and then putting them back on and everything, but it's good, yeah.
Most snow you've ever seen before this was how much?
Oh, maybe an inch,
maybe
2
an
inches.
inch. Okay, so this is a
Pushing
real surprise.
Yeah.
Real surprise, okay.
Yes.
How have you adjusted?
I bought a heated blanket.
Okay, that's a win.
That's a way that I've adjusted. Much nicer at night, I'd say. Lots of layers, I will say. Just throwing the beanie on, trying to not be on my phone as much on my walk to class.
That's a fair point.
So I'm constantly looking around. I've got a scarf around my face, trying to cover up anything. No skin showing, and I think I'm okay.
All set.
Yeah.
All set. The Ball State parka, of course, is a staple.
Yes, is a staple. It's super nice. There's a little pocket inside, so I can keep my keys, keep my chapstick, all the essentials. So I'm squared away. I've got it down pat.
You've got it figured out. You're good.
Yeah.
The weather impacted the season already with
Yes.
travel, not being able to go to Purdue, and you have one postponed. So with an extra week of practice before the season starts officially in the spring, what's that been like just to get ready?
It's nice, I would say, to have another week, but I'd say that me and the rest of the girls were all pretty much ready to go. A little antsy, ready to just kind of put everything that we've been working on in practice to competition, and that's probably the one thing that we're missing now is just that first match to get us going. And I mean, it was unfortunate, but obviously, I mean, you want to travel in safety measures that are safe for everyone and just ensure that things are the way they should be.
What's this group been like so far this year?
It's been different in probably the best way possible. I mean, on paper, it kind of looks like we're rebuilding, but I would say that we're far from different when you see us in practice and you see us interact with one another off the court. Like I said, it looks like we're rebuilding we've got a couple freshmen and a transfer coming in. So we've got everyone from freshman all the way up to senior, and we've been doing a really good job just being vulnerable with one another and pushing each other and holding each other accountable to the goals that we've set, not only for ourselves, but also as a team. So it's been really fun. And I mean, we've got girls from all over the world. So it's very, very cool to have this group come in, and it's so easy to get everyone on the same page. And I feel like that's very rare and unique for us to have. So I'm really excited, and I've loved every second working with them.
How awesome is it to have so many different people from so many different countries to come together and make one team?
It is really cool. I mean, it's not uncommon to have a lot of internationals in tennis, but for me at least, it's super cool. At least now I have a lot of different places that I can visit whenever I get the chance, but it's really cool how tennis has united all of us. But alongside that, I mean, getting to know all of their cultural traditions and hearing kind of why they are the way they are and where they came from is very different from where I'm from. But the fact that we are all different and we come from different places is something that's really cool, and something that I'm really happy college tennis has brought me is this ability to learn different cultures and traditions and just see people from all over the world. It's really cool.
It's a natural icebreaker, too, when you're like, okay, you're from a different country.
Yes.
We have something to talk about.
Yes. Always something new that pops up every day, so I'm learning something new every week. But I'd rather have it that way than not.
How was San Diego? ITAs.
San Diego was beautiful. The weather was a lot better there than it was here, but no, can't complain there. Super cool experience. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. Really grateful that Sarah and I had the opportunity to go and represent Ball State on the West Coast, and it's cool to see all the different teams that were there. I mean, you see a lot online, you see clips of different teams playing, and once you see them across the net, it's like, oh, okay, like we're in the same boat,
Yeah.
this is really cool. And just to see, just a change of scenery, really. It was nice to be able to say that was able to do that in my 4 years of competing. It's very cool.
And y'all made it to the quarterfinals
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
How cool is it to share those moments with Sarah?
It's always a roller coaster with her, but I love it so much. I mean, no path to success is linear, and so we've been through a lot of ups and downs, and every match, we get started, but we're always on the same page as to, okay, these are the things that we need to do, and this is our end goal, and how are we going to get there? And that path to getting to our end goal looks different every match just because our competitors are always different, but I mean, it is so much fun just to see how well our game styles go, but also our personalities. A lot of people say that we balance each other out, and that's honestly the best way that I can describe it. She kind of keeps me level-headed, and I keep that flame under her to just keep her going and keep her doing what she does best.
And congratulations on a MAC championship in the fall as well.
Thank
That's
you.
the big
Thank
that's
you.
how you got to San Diego, of course. But what was that moment like for you and Sarah to clinch the MAC Indoor Fall Championships?
It was, I don't want to say relieving, but it was very satisfying in a way to see that everything that we had been through up to that point, on court, off court, just building this relationship to see like what more can we work through to get to where we want to go. And even just that tournament itself, we had a very busy fall, but that tournament, I mean, the MAC is very competitive.
Yeah.
Double teams, very competitive. And so especially to see that early on in the fall, you're not really used to competing against your own schools in your conference that early on. So being hit with that heart of competition and knowing that, like we've got to be at our A game right now, even though when you really want us to be at our A game in March, starting of MAC, kind of living up to those expectations was very fulfilling for me, and I know very fulfilling for Sarah as well, to know that we were able to live up to what we needed to make it through that tournament and earn a spot to be able to compete in San Diego.
What was outside of the competition within tennis? What was the best part of the experience in San Diego?
I would say we spent one evening down by the beach. We got to see the sunset. We walked around a little bit, and I think just the way of life in the area that we were in, I mean, lots of young people. It was probably from the hours of 4 to 8 o'clock. I mean, there's a boardwalk right next to the beach, and there's people walking their dogs. There's couples, there's people going on runs and walks. And I think that it's really cool just to see how active a community can be and just the environment that you live in. And I'm sure I was at least inspired just being surrounded by so many people, all have their own lives, but they're still driven by one thing, and it's to just be active, get outside, embrace the beautiful sunset, and just to be near a place like that is really inspiring to me. That's something that I look forward to trying to find after college as well. So
You mentioned the beach. It's too bad a tennis ball doesn't bounce well on a beach.
no, it
To be
doesn't.
able to
It
do it on
doesn't.
there.
A little messy with the sand.
That's
but
true.
Yeah.
Going back to your comment about wanting to make sure you're playing your best tennis in the spring, but it all came together in the fall. How can the fall be a springboard to the spring, not only for you and Sarah, but for the whole team with that success that you both had?
I would say it's just about building a foundation. I mean, everything works from the ground up. So I think the fact that we had a really strong fall helps us lead into starting practice in January. We know what our foundation is. We know what our expectations are individually, but also as a team. And we talk a lot about, meeting our standards and kind of raising the standards. And so the fact that we were able to show our team, this is what we're capable of and this is our expectation, I think that leaves really no questions to be asked when springtime comes, because it's like this is what we're training for. We know what our competition is, and we know what our end goal is. And so just to be able to build off of the success that not only Sarah and I had, but also all of our team together, there's just been so much growth.
Yeah.
And to me, that is a really positive thing to see. Being able to grow. Freshman year is really hard. We've got a lot of freshmen on our team. So being able to see each individual grow into themselves and who they are as a person and who they are as a player, it's just been, I would say, a lot easier than I would have expected it to be, with just having such a great fall. I mean, the two are obviously, they're different. There's a little less pressure in the fall, but I think we were off to a really good start.
You mentioned growth from when you got back from San Diego to today. How have you seen yourself grow, either leadership style, play style, since that experience?
Starting from, I mean, the fall, a lot of it was just being patient with myself, and I've been trying to work more on making my mind a weapon. I'm pulling this quote from a coach, but 95% of tennis is mental. And so being able to work on using my mind on the court and being aware of what I'm filling my mind, whether it's from myself or it's through social media or anything like that, just being very aware that the little things add up over time. And for me, that comes out in competition. So I've really just tried to be a lot more patient with myself in this process of transitioning from an underclassman to an upperclassman, being captain, and trying to, having patience with myself also translates to being patient with my teammates and knowing that we're all in it together and we're all going through the same things. So just kind of being accepting of the highs and the lows and just taking that in stride, really.
You mentioned being a captain and the
Yes.
growth throughout your career. What does it mean for you to wear that badge?
It's a privilege, and I don't know, it's just I feel like a lot of what I've been through has helped me get to this point. So in a way, it's rewarding, but I feel like it's only rewarding if I'm able to help my teammates grow by helping them through the things that I've been through and sharing my insight. And I feel like I grew up always idolizing people around me. I was always the youngest in the group when I trained, and so my brother's 4 years older than me, so I was lucky enough to see a healthy team environment from such a young age. So that's kind of ingrained in me, and I want to be able to create the atmosphere that I was blessed to have growing up. And so that to me it's exciting, but it's a little close to home for me just because it's something that I feel like helps me feel fulfilled, is fulfilling others. If that makes sense.
What's your leadership style within being a captain?
A lot of my teammates would probably say that I'm a little bit more straightforward. I am going to push you because I know that you're capable of so much more than what you think you are. And I grew up with lots of tough love, and that's the way that I was motivated. And so I kind of try to bring that into the practice atmosphere of just, as long as you work hard and you encourage those around you, like I can't complain, you can't complain. And I just really want to push everyone to past limits that they didn't think that they had. And with that comes being a little bit more forward, which it's just the way that I was raised. But most definitely tough love is my big thing. If I'm on your case about something, trust me, it's because I care so much more than you'd ever think. So, yeah.
You mentioned growing up within that space. When was the first time you picked up a tennis racket? Do you remember?
Oh, man. I was about 5 years old. My dad played tennis, and my brother followed, and I quickly followed behind that as well. I started off with just building pyramids of the tennis balls while my dad was getting feeds, and he was feeding my brother, and eventually I just was so curious and so eager that I was like, when is it my turn to give it a go? And once they let me have a try, they never heard the end of it, so... Yeah.
And then from Georgia to Muncie. How did you find out about Ball State?
I received an email from the coach, and I had never heard of Ball State before. I'd heard of David Letterman, but I was just doing a lot of my research, and I think my recruiting process was just a huge eye-opening experience because there are so many universities out there other than, just the regular Power Fives that you see
Yeah.
out there, but it was very eye-opening to me. And once I heard about Ball State, I kind of looked into who they were as a team and how they've been doing, and they were a very successful team. And once I came to learn about the atmosphere and the environment, it was very competitive and kind of related to me on a level of that tough love, but that tough love and that discipline is going to get you what you want. And they were a very successful team coming in, and that's what I wanted to be a part of. And I was willing to sacrifice, having that glamorous college experience. And I was okay with a few inches of snow as long as it meant, I had the chance to get a conference ring on my finger. So,
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
The snow is worth the conference ring on the finger.
Yes.
When you got to campus and you started to go through that process, how did you start to make it feel like this was your home because of being so far away from home?
Yeah. So when I visited here, I literally walked through probably every bit of this building, and it was a lot to take in. But I think what really stood out to me was the character of the people that I was introduced to, and just how dedicated they were to their job and how dedicated they were to making sure that their impact at Ball State was felt by those around them. And I specifically remember meeting members of our like a weight training staff, and I connected with them really well just because, again, like I saw a lot of what I had growing up, and I knew that I wanted to continue to be pushed when I got to this level, and I wanted to maximize my potential as an athlete, as a tennis player, as a person. And I truly felt that walking around here and meeting the people that I met, that I could see myself growing as a person, as an athlete, as a tennis player.
You say as a person, how have you grown as a person?
I have grown to have a lot more patience with myself, and kind of the whole process of learning. I was very, very impatient, and I wanted things to come very quickly. And obviously, anyone will tell you that's not how the process works. So I think most definitely over the last year and a half, I've learned that my path as an individual is separate from everyone else's. And just having patience with myself that where I'm at is where I'm supposed to be, and to just keep kind of taking every day, focusing on getting 1% better in kind of every aspect of my life, and making sure that I'm hitting my goals. And once I hit my goal, I set another one. So.
You mentioned being where you're supposed to be. How would you describe where the journey started to now, how all of that has put you where you're supposed to be, like what this tennis journey has been?
Yeah, so my freshman year, I felt like I was very overwhelmed in a sense that I felt like I needed to have the experience that I have now in that moment, my freshman year. And that obviously just comes with time, and it's kind of full circle to me because everyone used to tell me, it's okay to take rest days. It's okay to take time to yourself. It's okay to, have a tough loss. It's gonna happen. And I think in that moment, as a freshman, I didn't understand because initially I wasn't meeting the goals and expectations that I had set for myself in that moment. But now at this point, I think I would say it's just full circle because I've gone through things that have helped me understand that everything that everyone was telling me was the right thing. And in the moment, I didn't want it to believe it to be the right thing. But now I've been through so many highs and lows and different experiences that I see now that I really am just on the right path, and everything that everyone has ever told me in my life it's now true, no matter how hard I wanted to disagree with them. But just kind of honestly just maturing in that aspect.
You mentioned the highs and the lows. where are those at? What were those things that had you going through those lessons?
Yeah, I think it was just I've always had such high expectations for myself, and I've always wanted to do my best. And I even felt like when I was doing my best and giving it my hardest, I would tell myself that it wasn't enough. And I have gone through many tough conversations with coach where he was like, did you do everything you could have done today? And I said, yes. And he's like, do you still feel like you could have done more? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, no. Like, there is nothing else more you could have done if you gave it your all. And I've had a lot of those moments where, he's oftentimes rebuttaling me. And I'm just like, you're right. And I think once I finally accepted that, I'm able to take my lows with a different mindset than what I used to now. Just kind of, again, like accepting that this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm meant to go through what I'm going through right now in order to get to where I want to go. And like I said earlier, no path to success is linear. So just embracing that there's going to be lots of bad days, and I'm going to take my good days in stride and just keep going along with the process.
So it sounds like Coach Curtain has had a pretty significant impact on your
Yes.
experience at Ball State.
Yes, he has. He's awesome, honestly. Transitioning from juniors to college, I kind of had this idea of what I wanted in a coach and what I'd had in the past. And I will say that it's totally different than what I expected in a good way. He's pushed me through so many different endeavors, and I'm so grateful for it because I think that I've truly grown as a person from it. And he's just forced me to honestly really realize that, I'm human. I can't be at my 100% all the time, and that I've got to give whatever, not 100% of my 90%, and he's great in the way that he really cares about you, not only as an athlete, obviously, but as a person. He really cares about, how you're doing in school, but also, do you have that balance in your social life? Because if your life off court is not balanced and fulfilling, then it's most definitely not going to be that way on court. So he's done a great job in kind of reteaching the way that I fill my cup back up. 30 more reps is not going to help me, win a match one day if I'm struggling with my homework or my academics off court. He'll give me that extra time to, go get your homework done, do what you need to do, and come back when you're ready. And I think just having that ability to do what I need to do has helped me trust in him a lot more than I really had trust in anyone from the beginning. I was like, it's me, it's going to have to be me. And it's like, no, you've got to lean into those around you and really just trust in yourself and those that they're trying to help you.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
We could end the podcast here. That would be a great way to end it, but I still have so many more questions based off of everything you've said.
Yeah.
But that was very well said. And I think that speaks to a lot of the coaches here at Ball State are very similar in the way that they teach, and Ball State hires coaches that do that. You mentioned off the court. What are some of your hobbies away from the game of tennis?
I have recently been getting into baking. My roommates know about this. It's funny. I made cookies the other day, and I offered one to them, and they're like, "Are these your healthy cookies, or are these like normal, sugar, all this stuff?" And then I'm like, just try it and see. And so I've really just been trying to learn more about myself outside of the athlete world. I mean, for the longest time, it was just like, I panicked at the question of, tell me more about yourself. I hated that question so much because I was just like, I don't know, And I think that that's a very common theme among other athletes, is that they just don't have enough time, really, or they don't set aside enough time to dive into who they are off the court, off the field. And I've really taken a passion up for baking. I'm not great. I've been doing a lot better. I haven't set off the fire alarm yet, but
That's a win.
But
That's a
yes,
win.
it's something that kind of fills my cup up and makes me feel fulfilled. And it's fun to be able to, bake something and give it to a friend if they're having a bad day, or bring it to your teammates just to show them, that you're thinking of them. It's kind of like a love language that I've found.
For the record, I have definitely set off the fire alarm many times while cooking, so I cannot
I've set
say
it
the
off
same.
doing other things, but not baking. So,
Other things.
well, cooking a steak. That
Okay.
sounded wrong. Cooking a steak.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I didn't set the pan properly, and it just ended poorly.
So we know what to stay away from. Is the
Yes,
steak.
I don't cook meat very well, but that's okay. We're getting better.
We're getting better.
Yeah.
How about away from the tennis court on campus? Where's your favorite spot to be?
I would say the library. I just think that you can go to a lot of different spaces that you need. I mean, sometimes I function really well with distractions. So seeing people come in and out of the doors, or they have separate rooms for you to go into if you just kind of need your time away and just your silence. They have a lot to offer there, and I just think that it's a different space than my room or my living room, and not the tennis courts where I can just go and I can just see people watch and
Absolutely.
just do what I need to do.
Do you ever use the whiteboards?
I do.
Yeah.
Actually, yes. I love whiteboards, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Sometimes I'll write something and then I'm irritated with the way that it looks and I got to start all over again. So sometimes, depending upon the day and my patience level, I'll stay away from the whiteboards. But
Do you like the being in the middle of Bracken, or do you like the corners? Because I was always like third floor, go to the corner.
kind of in the corners, like, the pods where it sections off and you can look out, like, towards
yeah.
the business building. Like, I like the window. I'm
Okay.
a big fan of natural light. I don't like lamps and all that. It kind of hurts my eyes past a certain point. I'm probably being dramatic, but
Cookies, natural lighting, and San Diego.
yes,
So
that's
far.
all I need.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Going back to something you said that was really interesting, just about the journey of how you've gone throughout the world of tennis. When did you know that you wanted to play college tennis? When did that click of, I want to start this process of playing Division I?
So, I mean, naturally, I loved tennis so much because it brought out a side of me that not many things did. From a young age, I was always very feisty, very competitive. And like I said, I grew up in a healthy team environment. A lot of people travel for academies, and you switch around to a lot of different coaches and mentors. And I had a lot of those growing up. Very blessed to have that. And I want to say probably around the time when I was 10 or 11, when I was starting to see the people older than me making that jump and that commitment to wanting to play college tennis, and just honestly being inspired by their day-to-day. And with tennis being such an individual sport, it's so hard in juniors because it's just all on you, and I loved and I thrived in a team environment, and the people that I was around every day just set such a great example that kind of around that age, I was like, okay, I want to do this, and this is the commitment that I want to make. And I love this sport, and I love the people that the sport brings. And to be able to take that to the next level became a very big dream of mine. And again, just seeing people that were older than me, seeing how they were able to support one another on and off the court, and just how tennis brings people together in an environment that's meant to be individual was very powerful for me at such a young age. I mean, I always looked up to people and was like, I want to be like you. I want to lead like you. I want to have the impact that you have on me. I want to be able to do that for other people. And so once I was inspired by those around me at that age, I was like, I want to play.
That's such an interesting dynamic of it being an individual sport, but you said the team aspect when it all comes together. And then, like you were saying, with your leadership, helping lead a group, that's very unique. What's the balance of working on self versus working on team in a sport that has both of those aspects?
Yeah, it's really hard, and that's kind of one of those things that I also struggled with freshman year, but I think that's a big struggle for tennis players in general, just that transition from juniors to college, where it's like you've got a whole team at your back now and you don't want to let them down. And kind of battling with the emotions with that of yes, I'm on a team, and kind of recognizing that everything that you do matters, because what you do one day at practice might affect how someone else's practice is going. And so, in that way, the fact that I know that my actions are kind of like a domino effect to others, that's a way for me to work on myself and kind of hold myself to that standard. And I think that it could be that way for a lot of other people as well, that you're on a team, and yes, it's individual, and it's sometimes that gap is very hard to differentiate. It's a big gray area, because no matter what, you still have to go out there and compete in what's in front of you. But I think the fact that you know that you have the support of your teammates, you have the support of your coaches, and that no matter what, you're all on the same roster, you're still line up on the line together. I think that no matter what, having that helps me focus on my own goals, because I know that we're a team no matter what, and that, even if I lose, like, nothing really negative is going to come from that. So yeah.
And now it all gets to come together in a matter of a couple of days, finally.
Yes,
for
just
spring
a couple
ball.
days. Yes.
What makes you know that this team is ready for that first one?
Oh man. I mean, I think we're all very just anxious to make that first jump, just to start playing. We've done a lot of work on and off the court, and it's getting to the point where it's like, all right, we know it's coming. We know we're ready. And I think just how prepared I see everybody in practice, and how willing they are to try new things and, continue to do the boring and the small things really well. And I think that that's what we're really honing in on as a team. And that's what's showing me, is that they're committed and that they're ready, is because, you show up every day and you try to do your job to the best of your ability. And I see that and firmly believe that all of my teammates are bought into that idea. And so that's really how I know that we're ready.
Izzy, before we let you go, is there anything that we haven't talked about that Ball State fans might find interesting about you, the tennis team, or anything like that?
Man,
Very open-ended question.
I don't know. Probably not. I think I look very serious on court. Like, when I'm competing, a lot of people are like, "Oh, she's so serious," like, she's so mean. And I think a lot of people get that when they look at me when I'm competing versus off court. I love making new friends. I love talking to people. I love getting to know people. And I know I look probably very scary and intimidating when I'm kind of in that competitive space, but I promise you, like, I would love to get to know you. I love to make new friends, and I'm not as mean as and intimidating as I might look. I've heard a lot of people say that, so I just wanted to clear that up.
That's a good time to clear the air.
Yeah.
And you can bake cookies for people, and everybody's happy.
Yes.
See, we're all friends.
Yeah.
That's good. Izzy, best of luck this year, and congratulations on all the past successes. We can't wait to see what you and the team do this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.